Have you ever noticed how a woman's entire energy shifts the moment she senses you're pulling away? It's like she has this invisible radar that picks up on every subtle change in your behavior, every delayed text response, every shift in your tone. And what happens next? Well, that's where things get interesting. You see, when a woman feels you're losing interest, her reaction isn't random. It's not some chaotic emotional outburst that you can't understand. There's actually a very predictable pattern to how she responds. And once you understand this pattern, everything starts to make sense. Think about it. You've been there before. Maybe you started dating someone and things were going well, but then life got busy, or you met someone else, or you just weren't feeling that spark anymore. You didn't say anything directly because, let's be honest, those conversations are uncomfortable. Instead, you just started pulling back slowly. Less texting, fewer plans, maybe you cancelled a date or two. And then it happened. She changed. Suddenly, she was either completely cold and distant, or she became more clingy and demanding than ever before. You probably thought she was being dramatic or needy. But here's what you didn't realize. She was responding to something very real that she was picking up from you. Women are incredibly intuitive when it comes to emotional shifts in relationships. They notice things you don't even realize you're doing. The way you used to text good morning every day, but now it's hit or miss. How your voice sounds a little different when you talk to her. The fact that you used to make plans a week in advance, but now you're only suggesting things last minute. She's not crazy for noticing these things. She's human, and when someone you care about starts pulling away, it triggers something deep inside you. It activates what psychologists call the attachment system. This is the same system that helped us survive as children by keeping us close to our caregivers. So when she feels you slipping away, her brain essentially goes into survival mode. And there are typically 3 ways this plays out. First, there's the pursuit response. This is when she suddenly becomes more available, more agreeable, more everything. She starts texting you more often, maybe suggesting dates or activities you used to enjoy together. She might dress up more when she sees you, or bring up good memories you shared. She's essentially trying to remind you of what you're losing, hoping to reignite that initial connection. But here's the thing about pursuit. It rarely works the way she hopes it will. When someone is already pulling away, more attention and effort from the other person often feels overwhelming or even suffocating. It can actually accelerate the distance because now you feel pressured instead of desired. The second response is what I call the testing phase. This is when she starts asking questions that feel loaded. Questions like, is everything okay with us? Or, you seem different lately. What's going on? She might bring up your future together more often, or mention other guys who have shown interest in her. She's not trying to manipulate you, though it might feel that way. She's trying to get clarity on where she stands. These tests serve a purpose. She's trying to figure out if what she's sensing is real or if it's just in her head, because living in uncertainty is torture for most people. It's actually easier to know that someone doesn't want you anymore than to live in this grey area where you're not sure what's happening. The third response is withdrawal. This happens when she's picked up on your disinterest but decides to protect herself by pulling back first. She becomes less responsive to your texts, stops initiating contact, and might even start spending more time with friends or pursuing other interests. This isn't game playing. This is self-preservation. Think about it from her perspective. If she's sensing that you're losing interest, continuing to invest emotionally feels dangerous. It's like continuing to put money into a stock that you know is about to crash, so she pulls back to protect herself from further disappointment. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. Sometimes, when she withdraws, it actually reignites your interest. Suddenly, you're wondering what she's up to, why she's not texting as much, why she seems less available. This is human nature. We often want what we can't have, and we take for granted what's easily available to us. But here's what you need to understand. By the time she's reached the withdrawal phase, she's often already emotionally detaching. She's not playing hard to get. She's genuinely protecting herself and possibly even moving on. The truth is, all 3 of these responses are attempts to restore emotional safety and connection. She's not trying to be difficult or dramatic. She's trying to navigate a situation where she cares about someone who seems to be caring less about her. So what does this mean for you? Well, first, it means you need to be honest about your intentions. If you're losing interest, the kindest thing you can do is communicate that directly rather than slowly fading away. Yes, it's an uncomfortable conversation, but it's far less cruel than leaving someone guessing and trying to decode your behavior. If you're not actually losing interest, but you're just going through a busy period or dealing with other stress, communicate that too. Let her know that your distance isn't about her or the relationship. Most women would rather hear, "I'm going through something right now and I might be a little distant, but it's not about us," than spend weeks wondering what they did wrong. And if you realize that her pulling back has actually made you more interested, ask yourself why. Are you genuinely interested in building something with this person? Or are you just responding to the challenge of winning back her attention? Because if it's the latter, you're both in for more confusion and hurt down the road. The bottom line is this: women aren't mysterious creatures whose reactions are impossible to understand. They're human beings responding to very real signals that you're sending, often without even realizing it. When she reacts to your pulling away, she's not being irrational. She's being human. Relationships require emotional honesty and clear communication. When we avoid difficult conversations because they're uncomfortable, we end up creating much more discomfort for everyone involved. The person who's being slowly pushed away has to live with uncertainty and confusion, while the person doing the pushing lives with guilt and the messiness of an unclear situation. So the next time you find yourself losing interest in someone, remember that they can probably sense it before you even fully acknowledge it yourself. And their reaction, whatever it is just them trying to make sense of what's happening and protect their own emotional well-being. Be kind, be honest, be direct. Everyone deserves that much respect in relationships, including you.